Hey, everybody. This is our episode with Steve Brown from Apres Headwear. Steve came down from Eagle, Colorado to visit us here in Denver, and we chatted about all the things he does. He's working with the race program over at Fischer skis. He owns his own hat company called Apres Headwear. We kind of talk about how that gets started. We talk about a bunch of other stuff. Bindings, the new shift binding, marker bindings, and skiing and fishing actually too. The fishing part's pretty good. I need to get out here and do some fishing. Anyway, enjoy the episode, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Cool. So we're going to get this thing going here. We're here with Steve Brown from, so Steve works with Apres Headwear and Fischer skis. So what's going on, dude?
Not too much, man. Happy to be here.
Very cool. This is one of a few episodes we're going to be doing out in the Denver area, so it's kind of nice. I appreciate you coming down and making the trip happen. It's like everybody's kind of everywhere.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's Colorado's a big state.
Yeah.
And so driving 70 is pretty much what we all do out here. So
is that like the main?
Yeah, it's the main highway, east-west. Okay. So I'm out in Eagle, just past Vail, in the Vail Valley.
Right. But I have like no bearings on anything out here. Like it's like everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm here. Oh yeah, I'm here. Like, and I had a couple emails that were like, oh yeah, come to Aspen, come to Telluride, and I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know where that is. You know, like it's, and then I like put it in the GPS, and I'm like, probably not gonna make it, dude. Like I'm not. Yeah, that's a bit of a hike. So, why don't we get into basically? I mean, how'd you get into the industry? Like,
oh man. I grew up ski racing my whole life. Born and raised Stowe, Vermont, and then into upstate New York, skiing out of a little hill called West Mountain.
Yep.
So just ski racing. Had my parents driving me around everywhere. And in college, I got an internship with Ski Racing Magazine.
Sweet.
And it's just like they're doing it now. You know, it's mostly online.
Right.
So I did a little video editing and that sort of stuff. And when I graduated from UConn, I ended up getting a job with Blizzard and worked there for a couple seasons and bounced around ideas of not being in the ski industry and enjoying skiing again, and then realized I love ski racing and I love skiing, and the ski industry is just that much fun.
It's pretty hard sometimes. Like I always want to get out of it. Like I'm like, like working in retail a lot and like working on the back end of things. It's like, this sucks, like it's like this is a lot of work all the time. You don't get paid very well, and everybody's like, I mean, it is what it is, kind of, but it's the best industry you can work in, like hands down. Like every time I go look at something else, I'm like, this would suck. Like everybody else's job, it would be so hard for me to do. So I think we're pretty lucky.
It's a great industry to be a part of. I mean, we're selling fun, right?
Yeah.
What's not fun about going skiing? I mean, the worst day on the hill is better than your best day sitting behind a desk.
100%.
And that's kind of where I'm at. I'll drive as far as I got to drive. That's pretty much what I do out here. Is I'm a road warrior.
Right.
And as long as I get to ski at the end of the day, at some point in there, it's fun.
Right. There's got to be a balance, I think. Like a lot of guys get into repping and stuff, and then they stop skiing.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. And that's like, I don't ever want to get to that point where like I'm doing so much work where I'm not skiing. Like and I think that's important that people hold on to. Like skiing's the reason that you're doing it, so you need to actually go skiing. Like
exactly.
That's the hardest part of it. It's pretty wild. I tore my ACL in February of this past year. It's the first time I've done it, and I like for the rest of the season, it seemed like it snowed every fucking day, and I was so mad at everything every single day. It was the most miserable end to a season possible because like everybody's just skiing, everybody's having fun. And like, yeah, you want to come skiing today? And I'm like, dude, I told you, my shit's broken. Like I'm not coming. Like I'm sorry. Like
yeah.
So I'm itching more than ever.
It's brutal. I missed my first season, 2016.
Yep.
My 25th birthday, skiing up at Stowe. Took a big crash on the Bruce Trail.
Yep.
Hit a tree.
Oh man.
Blew my spleen up. I was all banged up. Yeah, I was laid up for like 3 months. Couldn't do anything. But that year was terrible.
Right.
So like we were going too big because we had like 5 inches of snow on the ground. We were like, oh my god,
yeah. There's no base. Yeah, right.
With my buddy, and we were just like, this is sick. In reality, it wasn't sick, and it was super shallow. But missing a season, whether it's a good season or not, is brutal.
Dude, it's 100%.
I mean, I'd never had to deal with that, right? I'm 24 years of skiing 100 days a year.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden I can't ski. What do you mean I can't ski?
Yeah.
I can't ski?
How long does that take to recover from?
So they didn't have to pull my spleen out. So it was, if they pull it out, your recovery is way faster. You just
Really?
You just have to deal with like a diminished immune system for the rest of your life, which sucks.
Oh man, that sucks.
So they left it in, but I was like, you basically have bad lacerations inside you.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything because if you reopen it, the likelihood of internal bleeding is super bad.
Yeah.
So basically it was 3 months where I couldn't do anything, like couldn't lift anything over 20 pounds, like couldn't be active, which is super tough for somebody who's pretty active.
Yeah.
I mean, your recovery was definitely way longer. Like ACL, man, I need all the wood I can to knock on here.
Dude, it sucks.
I played football my whole life. I ski raced my whole life. Both my ACLs have never gone.
Dude, it's the dumbest thing.
This will probably be the season we'll meet up again, and in 7 months you'll be like, so how's that ACL recovery going?
No way. It's the worst, dude. Like and it was the dumbest thing either. I was skiing with Dana Greenwood, and I don't know, Dana's a pretty good skier, and like I was like, yeah, this will be fun. Like I hadn't skied with him all year, and I started off at the top of the chair, and I just like I felt kind of weird all day. And like I had my walk mode still engaged, and I wasn't really paying attention to it. I was just trying to bomb it, and like right off the lift, got my brakes stuck together, and then like my skis started like shifting behind me, and then like I pulled it out, and I heard it like pop a little bit, and I was like, shit, that hurt like a lot. And I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm probably just being a bitch. I'm going to keep going on it, right? So then, like, I keep going down, and I'm, like, feeling okay, like, in pretty short turns, and then I go to lay a couple pretty hard ones in, and I just, like, hear it fucking explode. Like, and it was, like, it was audible. Like, you could hear it, like, 30 yards behind me. Like, it was, like, it was the worst. I wouldn't recommend it. I also would recommend if you're going to do it doing something cool, not, like, doing nothing. Like that's essentially what had happened. It's not like I started skiing yesterday, like I know what I'm doing, and like it's rookie mistake, just fall next time. Like that's it.
Just go down.
Yeah. It's wild. But so anyway, now you're doing stuff with Fischer, right?
Yep. I'm working for Fischer. I do the Western race services.
Yep.
So I service all the race accounts, work with athlete development and sponsoring athletes and basically selling race skis,
right.
Help out the territory sales reps on the western half of the country. And
right.
It's a great gig. Fischer's, especially in the race side of things, we got it going on. So there's no issues there. And we're kind of, we're going to make some noise here, I think, in the next couple of years with what we have going on. I mean, you saw the Ranger Free boot.
Yeah.
That thing, is legitimate.
It's super sick, dude. I skied that boot already. Like, and it's
that good.
Yeah.
So that's just the tip of the iceberg for us.
Sick. It's I'm definitely excited to see what you guys have coming. Fischer's always been kind of that company that does race stuff, and I like the product and I like the brand and I like that it's in New Hampshire and I like all that stuff. But like last year was the first year I think that we sold in the shop. I mean, obviously, like I've been familiar with it for a while, but like I was like, there's a laundry list of things that need to be improved on, right? Compared to other boots. I'm like, because we sell a lot of boots, so like we're unique enough in the sense of ski shops that like we carry a whole line usually. Like we'll carry every boot in a line, whereas most shops will pick their core boots and then they'll put them up on the wall. We'll have everything in a lineup, so you kind of get to see what a company does really well and what a company doesn't do really well, and it's all exposed. Because we'll just buy whatever. And it's cool to see that this upcoming year, there's so many changes. Like so many of the things that I was like, this sucks, have changed already. Top sheets on the new Ranger skis, like those things are more bomber. Like
a little more durable.
More scratch resistant. Like they're the one that it was last year was the most beautiful top sheet out of the package, I think, of any ski on the wall. But it got beat so quick. Yep. It's not like a bad thing, I guess, necessarily. Like after you start getting those initial scratches and stuff, like whatever, like any company does it, right? Like, but it's I'm excited. So what does your job really entail now, I guess? So you said you help service some of the race accounts. What does that even mean? What do you actually do?
We're doing something new that's a little bit different in the race ski world. Is we're pushing all of our sales through shops.
Yep.
So, out here in Colorado, we have 2 major accounts, and even if someone gets sponsored, even if I give someone a deal where they're getting like 60% off of MSRP,
Right.
we will push that through the shop.
Okay.
So I'm taking orders. I'm dealing with the athletes, the coaches. I'm dealing with the parents. I'm going out there fitting the kid for what they need to be fit in a race fit, right? So
Yep.
you don't have to go into a shop and have a shop guy deal with all that. I will do all that, and then I
Right.
just send the order into you. So if you're a race dealer,
Right.
I call you and I give you the order, and if it's that deep a discount, we'll go through and
You guys are doing the work.
and fix that for you. But we're doing all the groundwork.
Okay. That's unique. I mean, that's
It's-
one of the biggest complaints with race business, right? Is like
Yeah.
shops are giving these race kids huge deals, whether they deserve it or not, and they're not getting paid for it, really, right? Like they're
Exactly.
making a little margin, or they're making
Yep.
some margin, but definitely not enough for the amount of work that needs to be done.
Exactly.
And
So
it hasn't been on the company ever, I guess, until now.
yeah, so we're changing that. Fisher's put a lot of the resources out there into the race world now. So we have a new national race manager, Dan Walczewski, and then we have our Eastern race guy, Kyle Cleveland, who I'm pretty
Yep.
sure you know,
Yep.
and myself doing the Western half of the country, and we're kind of kicking some ass right now.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't used to having this level of support behind Fisher, so
It's weird.
it's different.
And I don't mean it like
It's,
even in a bad way, I guess, right?
No,
But-
it's just people are happy when I answer the phone.
right.
And I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
that's what of course I'm going to answer my phone when I can. Like,
Yeah.
of course. Like,
Right.
So that just the little things right now. I mean, what Ryan's doing over at Fisher is really
Yeah.
building a team of guys across the country that can kind of go out there and kick ass. And we all have our good relationships and we're just making more. And, you know, the Western half of the country is new for me. So I'm kind of stoked about that. You know, I get to go
Right.
around. All my races are going to be Vail and Aspen and you know,
Right.
Jackson Hole and Mammoth and
Right.
like, come on, like that's
Yeah,
kind of sick,
That's
right?
about all. Yeah,
So
that's all you can ask for. So did
But-
you know you had this job lined up before you moved, or were you just like, I'm going to go out here and
no,
chill?
I moved to Eagle to be a fishing guide,
Yep.
and I guided all last summer. And when I was moving out, Adam Sink, who used to work for Fisher, he was like, you know, Todd Carroll's out there as the sales rep, and
Yeah.
he might need some help as with a tech rep. You know,
Right.
you should get in touch with him. Todd used to work for Green Mountain Valley School in
Yep.
Waitsfield. So when I was with Technical Blizzard, I worked with Todd a lot. And he called me in like October
Right.
last year and was like, hey, I'm driving through Eagle with the president of the company. He wants to sit down and have a chat with you, and
Right.
they're going to hire a guy eventually. And so I started tech repping for Todd last fall, and, you know, at SIA, sat down with Ryan Leach, our president, and
Yep.
he told me they were going to have a paper offer for me in the next couple of days, and
There
now
was.
we're here, man.
Sick.
It's
That's
it's
awesome.
pretty.
It's supposed to be the first full season. I saw you were skiing at Hood over the summer
Yep,
a little
yep.
bit, so
Oh,
you got
yeah.
some early
Hood's-
groundwork going.
Hood's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
it's-
you've been there before, or no? This is the first time.
I'd been there, but only as a racer. I'd
Right,
never,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I didn't have to go with Blizzard. We weren't there that season, that summer that I was still with them. And
Yeah.
Hood, you know, government camp is just
so
an
weird.
interesting little town, you know? I mean, probably spent a little too much money at Chuck's.
Yep.
And, you know, but I don't know, it's fun, you know? We ran our demo center and
Yeah.
and get the kids all set up and then go up there and ski in the morning. And it's an interesting time of year because race season never ends. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
race is a 12-month a year
It's like
type
soccer.
of thing.
It's like
exactly.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah, you keep going. They can't ski here. They're going to go ski somewhere else. And
Right.
so we're dealing with orders. And, you know, we basically, a regular day at Hood, we woke up and, you know, since we're fully West Coast there, office is open super early.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to wake up, get all of our orders done, check our emails, call everybody back, and then hit the hill by 7 a.m.-ish, 7:30. And then we opened up Demo Center from 12 to 4, and
Yeah.
it was cool. Hood's a good time. But
Hood's fun. I don't think people realize like the deal. Like every time I go there, it's like, you're going skiing in the summer. Oh, that's awesome. But like there, once you get there, it's like it's not even a big deal. Everybody's like, yeah, we're just skiing. Like we're just doing laps. Like we're just gonna come and do our thing. Like and in the morning, it's so good. Like to do those hard pack laps, like first thing.
oh yeah,
It's the best.
It's really fun because you can get out there nice and early and
Right.
rip some like really good quality turns, and then go up a little bit later and do like one of the camps up there, Party Beach. Marcus
Yep.
Caston's a part of it,
Yep.
and my friend Lindsay Strange. and they just wait until it melts.
Really?
And they go up there and they hit their big jump, and it's all slushy and fun. And you're slashing turns and like the corn. It's
so
you get
funny.
everything you want up there.
You totally do. I was there last summer for K2 checking out that new boot that they have.
Yep.
And when we were there, it was like we need to get there early when the racers get there because they're going to have their runs going, and we need to get the snow when it's like hard enough so that we can actually test boots in that condition and see how it goes. And then every day that we were there, pretty much like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock rolls around, and then all the park kids show up. Like they just roll out of bed pretty much whenever they do and show up to the hill. And like we're all like stressing to get there on time, and they're like, we don't give a shit. Like we're just going to go and do what we do pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's the afternoons when the bump skiers and the park skiers come out.
Right, exactly. when it's nice and fun. Cool. So I mean, Fischer does what they do pretty much. I think it's weird to see them, I guess, expanding into all categories, right? They've always had that vacuum thing. They've always been a race company to me, but it's always been a race company that like, who knows if anyone's actually making money on their product or not? The shop's not necessarily, you're doing all the race business with them, but how much stuff are you actually selling? How much the regular customer is buying? Yeah. And now it's, I mean, honestly, it's one of my favorite lines. Like, I think all the way through, and not just because you're here. I mean, it's not like you're gonna, like it's fine. But I like that line a lot. The stuff is rock solid, and I'm super excited to kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, just this is just the beginning. We've got. I was testing some skis that we have for the 1920 season up at Hood, actually. Yep. And I mean, I was having a blast. I think we have this sort of stigma as a race brand. Yep. And I mean, we're a top dog in the race world, but we have some pretty awesome all mountain like kind of stuff, like the Ranger series.
It's great.
It's badass. Yeah. I mean, that Ranger 108 rips.
It rips, dude. Like for a 108, like that thing holds an edge. Like,
yeah. And I think that's kind of, once we move away from people seeing us as that race brand, that high performance front side carving ski, right? And they kind of just hop on the ski, they'll realize, now we got that 102 FR, which is just a blast.
I think it's sick.
I mean, that ski is fun to ski.
I'm pretty excited to see what those two skis do. I guess I'm kind of bummed that there's not a narrower one in that. Like I don't think it necessarily needs to be, but like I wish that 102 was called a 98 or was called a 95 or something like that. And I guess I'm glad that that's my only complaint, but because it doesn't actually matter. You could even keep it the same friggin' length for all I care, or the width for all I care. Just rename it. I just think 102 sounds wide to people on the East Coast.
Yeah, totally.
If they know what they're talking about. If they don't know what they're talking about, they're just going to buy what you tell them is fun. And that's right, because it is fun. It's probably one of the most fun skis, and I'll argue till I'm blue in the face that it skis like a 95 underfoot, So, totally. But it says 102.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
It is what it is, I guess. And that's one of the things that Blizzard did this year is like they have that Rustler 9 now. And they had the Rustler 10 and it killed it, but it sounds wide. Or at least, I don't know. I guess they handled it a little differently, right? That's a 102 underfoot. They just named it Rustler 10, so it doesn't sound like it's not in the naming of the ski, I guess. Yep. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I always have these dumb opinions on things that are like that I shouldn't be too upset about, but that I get over upset about, and it is what it is, I guess. Yeah. But we'll see how it goes. So do you do you're skiing in backcountry stuff? Are you doing other kind of skiing too, or are you just doing race stuff mostly?
I'm doing everything.
Yeah. As a skier mostly.
As a skier, I'm skiing a race boot a good amount of time,
right?
Just because I love
the fit
a race boot. Yeah, I fit them myself, and they ski great. Yep. Now with that Ranger Free, I'll probably ski that 50-50. Yeah. But now when I ski on a ski, I like long and wide. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big guy. Yeah. 6'5", 260. So I need a burly ski. Yeah. I'm not really built to be a skier. Yeah. That's why I played football.
Yeah, for sure. There's not many skiers. Although, honestly, there's more than I think there are probably. But skiers are in general short. Yeah. Like, they're small people. I don't know if it's because they're all Europeans or they were all Europeans or I don't know what the deal is. But it's funny, man. You are a big dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, hey, man.
I mean, yes. That's right. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's not like it was your choice, right? That's cool. So, moving on from Fischer stuff, I'm sure we'll get back and forth with it. But so you also own a company called Apres Headwear, right? So what do you guys do? What was the idea behind it? How long you guys been in business?
All right. So Apres Headwear, That's kind of like my baby, you know.
Right, yeah.
And it's also kind of my baby, and I'm not really a good dad.
Yeah.
I don't really know where to go with it.
Okay.
I started making hats because I wear hats every day.
Yep.
And I like to wear hats that look cool.
Right.
And when push came to shove, I was like, there was a little bit of time where I was like, I can't find a cool hat.
Right.
Or I can, and it's $40.
Yeah.
So like,
That's true.
you know, I'm not going to buy $10, $40 hats at retail. Like, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Instead, I'll make a few thousand for way cheaper than that, and I'll get to wear them. Then I'll sell them for $30.
Yeah. Right.
And it's no, basically, it all started with when I was living in Stowe and I was working for Technical Blizzard.
Yep.
I was living with Dave Nyan from Nordica.
Yep.
And Sean Kennedy from Atomic.
Yep.
And we kind of had this badass ripping crew of skiers up in Stowe. And we just all loved Stowe so much. And
Right.
we would refer to Stowe as Stowie. And we would spell that Staui, Stowie. We called it the Maui of the East. All right? So seriously, this is where it starts.
Yeah.
And literally one day, I'm sitting there and I'm talking with Sean Kennedy. He's like, we got to make some tank tops for closing day. Some Stowie tank tops. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, let's make some Stowie tank tops. And we'll just sell them to like the homies.
Right.
And we'll go out and we'll all wear tank tops closing day and it'll be sick.
Yeah.
And we did a run of like 3 colors, tank tops with like these ridiculous little Stowie logos on them. And all our homies bought them and everybody loved them. And I ended up at the Matterhorn after skiing with like 24 tank tops still left. And people saw us wearing them. And the owner came over to me and he was like, hey, if you put those all on our bartenders, we'll help sell the rest of them. So I gave the bartenders 3 tank tops and they sold 21 tank tops in 2 minutes.
Sick, yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty easy.
Right.
You know, I don't know why people wanted them. They don't even know what Stowie is.
Right.
Like, this is a joke. We had an Instagram account, Maui of the East.
Yep.
Tried to go with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Slowly realized people didn't get it.
Yeah. It's an inside joke. People like it at the moment, right?
Exactly. And made my first hat was a Stowie hat that I sold a bunch of, and everybody in Stowe loved it. But the people who weren't from Stowe didn't get it.
Right.
So from there, I made a hat with just the skyline on it.
Yep.
And I was like selling that at one shop that my brother worked at in Stowe.
Right.
And was like, man, they're selling pretty well. But still, people don't get Maui of the East as the brand.
Right.
So I actually went to Alaska and guided all summer for the summer of 2016 it was. And that's when I rebranded as Apres Headwear.
Right.
Came back that September and just had a bunch of sketches in my sketchbook
Right.
for hat designs and started ordering stuff. And from there, you know, I mean, that bear hat, that bear logo was like my first real big one. The Mansfield Skyline patch hats, those crush it. I mean, those things are crazy good. Yeah. But yeah, it was basically September 2016 when it really started as Apres Headwear.
Right.
And, you know, we're in probably 24 shops across the country. And it's just when I have my spare time, I'll start sketching and putting together designs. And it's, I don't know, man, it's fun. It's
a passion project, kind of.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's, you know, there's a lot of people that I know want me to do a lot more with it.
Right.
But at the end
I want you to do more of it too, dude. It's like,
I mean, I wish I could.
Right.
You know,
it's hard.
It's, but it's also gotten me through like when I was trying to get the full-time gig with Fischer and wasn't guiding in the fall and you know, I was wrenching on bikes at my uncle's bike shop and was like, shoot, I'm selling a bunch of hats.
Yeah.
You know, I did a big order with High Fives.
Yep. Those are sick.
Those hats
we got one of those
great.
now. Those things are sick. Yeah.
Those are sweet. And you know, you probably are one of our top 3 accounts with all that custom work.
Yeah,
you
we
do.
definitely do some custom stuff for sure.
Which,
I mean, the stuff is great. Honestly, like, I've never had a hat that like people are like, this is the perfect fitting hat. Like that mid crown, like
they're great.
It fits my big ass head. It fits people with tiny heads. It's like, I don't know how. I mean, whatever company that like manufactures them, right? Like
Yeah.
that style is the perfect fit.
They nailed it.
Yeah, they crush it.
That was my biggest thing. Was I actually was working on some hats with Blizzard,
Right.
and that's how I got hooked up with this company,
Right.
and made the first hat. They fit great. The quality's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
you can put it right next to a Patagonia, or
You totally can. And like, yeah, we sell them next to Patagonia hats literally all the time.
Yeah.
And people honestly think that they might be one at first, and
exactly.
that's what it is. It's and it's a good product. So why are you a bad dad? That's my like, right? I know it's hard. So like, everything's hard. Like, this is kind of like my passion project too. But why are you a bad dad? What could you do better?
Oh man, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm
Same.
I keep my books in a notepad, kind of like this one. This one's brand new.
Yeah.
But I just write a bunch of stuff down, and then I forget about things. And
Yeah.
you know, I have another full-time job, so it's like
Right.
when I didn't have a full-time job, I was a way better dad.
Right.
I did a really good job with it. And it was always surprising me. I said to my fiance a couple times, I was like, "Man, Kat, when I focus on this, I sell a lot more hats." She's kind of like, "No shit, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it works."
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess my problem is I can't always focus on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know my brother who sells so many of those Mansfield patch hats in Stowe.
Yep.
He wants to be a part of it. And I'm basically like, well, I can't let go. It's
Yeah,
my
yeah, you're
baby.
holding
Like, you
on
can
to
be
it,
the
yeah.
uncle and you can sling a bunch of these hats, but like, this is my thing.
Yeah,
and
it's your brother. You got to let him help.
Yeah, he's gotta help,
Yeah, if
but,
anybody's
like-
gonna help, it should be your brother. Right?
Exactly, yeah.
So, what shops do you work at?
AJ's Ski and
Oh, cool.
Sport.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
So,
They've been there I think that dude's from West Springfield. I'm like, so from the town that I'm from too. So I like went up there to visit him one time, and he was like telling me all about it, and like he grew up down the street and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like where, like Mass? You came from
Mass?
there? Like it's like a shitty. And West Springfield's not that shitty, I guess. Springfield's shitty, but West Springfield's not as shitty. But I don't know. Ethan's nodding his head because he lives in Springfield and has to be in the hood all the time. But is what it is. So I guess what's the plan then? Are you just gonna keep being a bad dad? Are you gonna change?
No.
Are you gonna what's the
you know, there's a bunch of stuff in the pipeline.
yeah
I had to reorganize my money a little bit.
right
And basically I'm trying to get to the point where I can come with a full winter line.
okay cool
So I have a bunch of beanies and palm hats and all this
Right.
stuff that I did last year, and I did it too late.
yep
And
yeah 100%. I saw that stuff coming. I was like, dude, that's so
way
yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of inventory there, and I'm kind of trying to make up for my bad timing on that.
right
So a full winter line that actually comes
On
early
time,
enough should be in the next few weeks. Things will really be put together.
sweet
I think that the plan is to be able to launch a line
right.
instead of like,
Hey,
I
we
mean,
have
I don't
hats.
even know when I came out with the latest Grizzly hat.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That like middle of the summer.
Yeah, right.
Like
Right.
what?
Just shows
It's
up.
a great
right.
summer hat,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like all of a sudden people
Yeah.
are like, "Wait, you have a new hat?" Like
Yeah.
I had no idea.
That's the thing. It's hard, dude. Like it's hard to let people know because when they see it, they're psyched on it. But how do you get them to see it like organically almost, but not be
Exactly.
like too pushy about it? Like
Yeah.
it's we have kind of the same issue here. Like we'll have an episode out and it'll be great, and like we'll get great feedback, and then like it just feels like not enough people are seeing it, and then I'll get emails randomly like throughout the month or something
Yeah.
like that, and it's like, oh, this is great. Why didn't I know about this? And how do I connect better with these people? You know,
Yeah.
that's always the question in any business, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, how can you reach your customer a little better
It's how do you reach them without pissing them off?
without being annoying, right? That's the thing is like I like doing those Instagram ads every once in a while, but I know when I see that shit, I like want to throw my phone across the room.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
I'm the
like
same
it's
way.
like just get out of my feed. I didn't ask for you to be here. Get out of here. And like while I think a lot of them will like it, it's not my choice to decide that, right?
Yeah, totally.
So that's kind of the give and take with advertising, I guess.
Yeah.
And unless you're a huge company, what do you do?
Exactly.
So-
So it's an interesting little world.
It's an interesting world for sure. I think the biggest thing is like getting people behind it, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's like, I don't know shit about the manufacturing process. I don't know shit about when things need to come or any of this stuff. But like, I know that like when people are into a product, right, and you go to them and you're like, all right, we're having this stuff that's going to come later. Do you want to pre-book stuff? That's the golden
Yeah.
model kind of, right?
Yep.
And I don't know. I'll be interested to see how that changes. Like having product early kind of changes it because like shops being behind it, as much as I think the retail model's kind of broken and all this stuff, I think it's important to be in the model still.
Yeah, you still have to play the game.
Still have to play the game, even if you think it's dumb.
Totally.
Right? You know, like I think it's stupid. Like I really think that like I don't love the J Skis model where you're selling direct to consumer and fuck the shops and all that stuff. But I like that idea where like, and Meyer does it. We were talking about this with them yesterday. Like they do this thing where they'll sell you a ski out of their building. They'll sell you a ski out of their website, but they'll also sell to retailers, you know? And that's kind of how, and you guys do the same thing. And I think that's the best way to do it, but it's just getting enough people behind it.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, and there's that point where it's like, if I wanted to just sell hats on my website,
right?
Yeah, I'd make more money on them,
right? Yeah,
but that's not how you get people to recognize them.
Totally.
And that's like being in a shop. Like it's a hat. I'm gonna walk into a store, and if I see a cool hat, I'm buying it.
Right. It's cheap enough.
It's not like gonna break the bank, but when I have to pay for shipping and can see a picture, but I can't try it on or I can't hold it, like I don't know, like. Who's Apres Headwear? Who's this guy? This guy's lame. Like I'm not going to buy something from his website. Like I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
So I think shops are super important, and I know just based off of moving product and getting it into the market, that's the best way to do it.
Right.
So.
Right. Margin's less for you, but I mean that's like if it didn't work, everybody would have stopped doing it a long time ago.
Exactly.
So there's something to it. Do I need to move closer to this microphone, or I'm good? All right, cool. I do this every time, and every time afterwards, he's like, "Stop moving away from the microphone." Like I don't know. Like I go back and forth, and usually I'm in a rocking chair, not these. Whatever these things are that are about to break. Yeah, these are still rocking side to side. I think these were put together with super glue. So. Fishing, how's fishing up here?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So you're not the first person that I know that's came out here to guide.
Yeah.
So what's the deal? Like I like fishing a lot. I don't get enough time to do it. It's like the thing that I love to do that I sacrifice to make more time in other things.
Yeah.
And so what's the deal? Where do you go fishing?
So in the Vail Valley, we have the Eagle River.
Yep.
And it runs right down 70. And the fishing there is spectacular.
Okay.
This season's been tough. No water. Fires everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That just goes right into it. The water's been hot.
Right.
So we're trying to stay off the Eagle a bunch now. But the fishing around where I'm at is the Eagle, the Upper Colorado.
Yep.
Which is pretty killer fishing. Big brown trout. Has a cool salmon fly hatch, which is like a Western thing.
Yeah.
Big flies in the top water.
Yep.
It's pretty fun.
It's sick. It's like I've only fly fished out here one time, and not even here. Out in like Portland area.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the same as home. Home, it's like fly fishing is kind of hard. Home, like it's like you're in tight quarters. Like every river seems like it's like you're dying to get in there pretty much. And once you're in there, you're waiting forever for something to bite because everyone and their mother, right, dude. It's so overfished on the East Coast. Yeah,
and it's not well maintained. I mean,
yeah.
Maine is starting to do a good job with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Vermont doesn't do anything with taking care of their fisheries. Crazy. It's like a bunch of rednecks. Yeah. And you're like, wait, this is the green state? Like Bernie? Like,
and there's no fish.
How about we take care of our fisheries? And you want to get my dad started on a conversation. He'll yell at you. He'll just start yelling and be like, I'm on your side. He's like, I don't care, I'm mad. Like, they let us kill all the fish. Like, all right, well.
It's pretty awful.
No, I mean, out here, the conservation is good.
Right.
Most of the fishermen are catch and release fishermen. Yeah. Which there's pluses and minuses to that, but all in all, people. I mean, right now on the Eagle, there's a afternoon restriction on fishing. It's voluntary. So between 2 p.m. and midnight, you can't fish it because of the water temps. Okay. It's not set in stone. You'll get in trouble for it. But you won't see somebody fishing that river. Right.
If the water it's all temps, agreed upon, yeah.
Yeah. If the water temps hit too high, people won't fish it. And that's like a community thing. Right. You know, people are very understanding of what they have to do to take care of their land out here. And it goes more than just the rivers and fishing. I mean, people take care of their stuff out here. Right. So
it's that is definitely different out east. It's like I love the East Coast because I tend to think that people from the East Coast work harder. Yeah. No, and I don't know, like it's probably just me saying that because I'm from there and that's what I think, I guess. And I don't know enough about the people out here even though I'm here fairly often, I just don't know what the deal is, but it's so nice, right? You have everything. In the East Coast, like on snow days, when there's no snow and there's 5 inches on the ground, you're still sending it way harder. Here, it's like 5 inches on the ground, what am I going for? You know, like I'm not in any rush. Versus like Stowe on a 5-inch powder day, it's like the line is like shut down.
Yeah,
like
you can't even get in.
Right.
You're like, hold on, there's like barely a dusting.
There's 1,000 people in line for a 5-inch snowstorm, right? You know, and I think that's cool because it creates more passion, I guess, in things in general, but it also, I don't know, everybody's kind of on their own. There's less community in it. Like everybody's like, I need to get mine or else somebody else is going to get it.
True.
And here it's like everybody in general. It's a community.
It's definitely community oriented.
So how's, oh man, that's so weird. I need to get out and fish some stuff here, man.
Oh yeah.
One of these days. We have jack shit for time.
I'll take you out, man. I got it pretty dialed.
One of these days I'll have to come back out. I'm hoping I'll be back out here sooner than later and just to chill instead of just stack podcast stuff. But and we'll definitely get out and do some of that stuff. So what are you looking forward to most in for the upcoming season, for the upcoming ski season, right? Like there's a bunch of new stuff that's happening. Everybody kind of is just excited for it to snow, I think. But what are you looking forward to most, product-wise or just like event-wise that's going on?
I'm really excited for SIA this year.
Right.
When we start launching some of our new stuff with Fischer, I think people will kind of open their eyes a little bit more. I think we started it with that Ranger free boot.
Right.
But with some of the other stuff we have coming in the pipeline, it will be an eye-opener. And we'll start to scratch the surface a little bit more on what our brand actually is. And I want to say a little bit more about it, but I probably shouldn't. So
come on, dude.
I'm going to kind of leave it at that. But we've got a lot of really cool stuff going on, and we also have, as far as our North American team is concerned, a badass team in place. Right. I mean, we have some great guys across the country that are changing the face of Fischer. And when you look at Fischer for the last 15 years, the face of its only consistent face is Berkowitz. Yeah. And Matt's a great guy. Yeah. Like he does everything over there. But now we're starting to establish a real team to go behind that and have it. I mean, Berkowitz does marketing for all of the Fischer stuff. So Nordic, Alpine.
That's a
hockey.
Big task.
Dude, we got a lacrosse stick now. I'm not kidding. We're doing a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah. And that dude's in charge of all of it.
And he's in charge of all of it for marketing.
Man.
So now that he's got a little more of a team there put in place by Ryan, our president, I think we're all going to kind of be able to take our position and run with it.
Right.
And that's going to help us a lot within launching these new products.
And you guys have, so we'll get back to that in a second. So Chris Kuklinski, right? Is that his last name? Kaczynski? Yeah, I knew I was going to fuck up his last name. It's that dude, I have to say, is rock solid. Yeah. Like he is one of the best at his job. Like for just like managing people and accounts and dealing with stuff. Like when Chris calls, I can't tell you how many times that dude called me before our order came in. He's like, this is when I need payment. This is where it needs to go. You need to figure it out. It's on you. Like the responsibility is yours to make sure things are taken care of. And like, there's not enough. What is his job title exactly? Like, what does he do? Do you know? Yeah.
I don't even know.
He does. Yeah, he does stuff. Like, basically, he just manages people. Like, whoever he
makes sure
to,
we get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
And he does a damn good job at it.
Right. He kills it. So that's like quick shout out to Chris because I think he does a kick-ass job. Whether it's a pain one day or not, like that dude is the best at that job versus anyone else in the industry, and I don't care what anybody says. So it's good that you guys have him on the team because he hasn't been there for super long, right?
No. I don't think he's been there for too long.
Yeah. So you got him going. You guys got
him. We've got a solid group of customer service people in there.
Right.
And we have Mike Hatrip.
Yep.
He's a general badass in the ski world.
Right.
And he's with us. We got Scott Ford.
Sweet.
Out of Salt Lake City. Our new VP of Sales, Jeff Berkeley. I mean, that guy is a rock star. And this is all Ryan Leach putting us all together. I mean, he has built this team, and we all get it, and we're all psyched. And the passion for skiing between everybody. I mean, when we're all in one room, you'd probably get pissed off. You'd be like, guys, relax. Like, energy down. Calm down. Everybody relax. Yeah. Like, we're having fun, and it's an exciting time to be a part of Fischer.
Yeah. It's they've got some good stuff going. I mean, it's like we've said it a couple times now, and like I think people get the gist. But like I like the brand. I think the brand is going in a good place, and that's it's almost unique to see in the ski industry that a brand as a whole, you can feel like it's, we talked yesterday with Meyer about like being able to actually feel the growth in a company. Like you can feel that something's changing in Fischer from the inside. So I think that's cool. So shifting away from Fischer, so there's, you guys don't do a binding, you guys do a binding with Tyrolia, right?
Yes.
So I think you can talk about bindings and be fairly unbiased with me without pushing too much. So they have Solomon has the new shift binding coming out. What do you think about that thing? What's your initial opinion on it? I know you probably haven't used it yet, but
I haven't gotten my hands on it yet. I think that binding is pretty badass.
Right.
I like that it sticks within the norms of having, I mean, in the world of like, you can use a regular boot with it.
Right.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a great binding to go along with a boot like the Ranger Free.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like a Cochise, like that kind of style boot with the tech fitting. I'm excited to ski it.
Yeah, me too. That's
I don't really know how to feel about it until I ski it.
Yeah.
But everybody I know who's been on it loves it.
Yep.
And it really piques my interest. I like the idea of not having to be in the toe piece in pins the whole time.
Yeah, I like that it has a din setting and you don't feel like, because I don't care what anybody says, like on those pin bindings, you almost have to lock the toe piece in, otherwise you're coming out. I do too, dude. Like I'm 215 pounds and I come out of that shit like, even if I crank the din to 10 or 13 or whatever the max is, like I come out like 3 turns in.
Yeah.
You know, so people need something like that. And I think it's kind of ugly. Like, it's cool. Like, it's very space age looking kind of, and they all are, I guess. But I don't know. I'm interested. I want to ski it too. I guess
I don't have a lot of experience with a pin binding.
Right.
I mean, putting like pins in the heel for me, like you would never see me doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm way too big for that.
Right.
No matter what somebody tells me, I won't trust it just because I've broken enough race skis in my life.
Right.
To know that pin heel isn't going to hold me.
Yeah.
I've heard some of your rants on the Kingpin.
Yeah. Fuck that binding. Yeah.
But that's the first pin binding that I would ever step into.
Right.
Because it had a heel.
I agree. Yeah.
And
they did
I
a lot.
locked the toe out on it, and we had it when I was with Blizzard, and we launched the Zero G ski.
Yep.
And you can ask everybody at Stowe what I was doing on a Kingpin locked out.
Right.
And a 178 Zero G95 in the park.
Right.
Like, I should have been breaking everything on that, and nothing broke. So at the end of the day, I love the idea what this shift is.
Right.
And to me, it will be, is it durable? Because from looking at it, I can tell that it's going to ski well.
Right.
And I've seen some badass skiers using it, like actually skiing with them while they're on it.
Right.
And I trust other people like that, but I still need to ski it myself to know if it's durable enough. Because to be honest, there's not that many guys out there my size who are going to beat the shit out of their stuff like I do. Right.
And that's the thing, right? Like, that's, if anybody should be testing something, you should be testing something, because you're a big person. If you're going to break it, then, and that's the thing is, like, I shit on that Kingpin binding a lot, and I shit on a lot of pin bindings a lot, because there should have been a better system a long time ago.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's like, we're doing this now. Like, I'm happy that Solomon's doing this, and I think it's the next step. I don't think it's like the end all be all. I think it's a great binding, at least in practice, right? I haven't skied it yet either, so I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. But it looks super easy. It looks like it skis well. Mm-hmm. We're going to sell 1 million of them because people are excited about it. And I think it's the right time to launch it, especially, I think they got lucky that Marker had a recall, so that's like, that makes the Kingpin look even worse, even though the recall's not a ton of bindings. It's enough bindings, but it's not everyone. I guess that my issue with that Kingpin, I guess, is just that, like, it feels chintzy. Marker stuff in general feels chintzy to me. And I don't know what it is, and I think I'm wrong, and I like a lot of things that Marker does, but I just don't like that it's all plastic other than the spring. Like, I just feel like it should be more metal. I feel like it should be burlier. And I guess there's not that many bindings that are really metal at this point. Like, the Pivot 18 is metal. That's like the only one that they're even making that's full metal at this point. and it's expensive, and it's an 1810. It starts at like 9, so it's for like 10 people, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening with it. I don't hate Marker. If anybody from Marker's listening, or any of the reps are listening, like I really don't hate Marker. I like Marker. I think they're great. I just don't think they're as good as being the best binding company in the world, right? Like, I mean, they sell more bindings than anybody else, probably tenfold by this point, you know? Like, I'd like to see them do something a little bit better. And I think Tyrolia is doing a good job.
Yeah, I think Tyrolia does a great job.
Yeah.
And especially in the race side of things.
Yeah,
their
totally.
race service bindings are killer.
Yeah. Oh, they're great.
You know, that's my favorite part about that is I love that binding. It skis great.
Yeah.
Works well for all the kids. And they do a great job over there. So
their
it's a good
service
partner
is
for
good.
us.
Yeah, it's right. I think it's a good partner for you guys because it's a company that makes stuff really well. And I think they're under-marketed. I think Head as a whole, whoever their marketing guy is not Matt Berkowitz. Like, I don't know who he is. Like, and I don't mean like he's doing a bad job, but it's just people don't know the brand enough.
Totally.
For as much notoriety and as many good skiers that have been on Head products over the years, they should be known more. I
Totally.
Think. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're doing a push with that whole core.
It's just a knockoff Enforcer, dude. It's like I love that ski. Like, I do. I love that core. I swear to God. Like, I told Tommy, I love this ski. It's super fun. And honestly, like, buy it. You know, like, it's black.
Yeah.
I think it looks cooler than an Enforcer. I think it skis just as good. There's so many reasons to buy it, but I'm a little upset, I guess, about the fact that it's a copy of the Enforcer. But I don't know. Whatever. I'm sure there's a reason that it's different, and they're not going to admit to that and all that stuff. But it's like, I don't know. Like, they look the same. So it's a little different. But that being said, that shape clearly works, right? That Ranger ski is almost the same shape as those two skis too.
Yeah.
And those three skis, along with the Rustler, I think are the ones that are in that category. And the Pinnacle, dude. Every major company right now has a ski that shape in their line.
And they're all good.
And they're all great, dude. They all ski so well.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing these days is you walk into a ski shop, you're probably going to buy a pretty quality ski. No matter what you go with, no matter what the shop kid sells you, you're going to leave the store with a good ski. It's just, is that the right ski for you?
Right.
I think that's kind of the whole, everybody makes a good ski now.
Right. And there's so many skis that you can ski doing anything, right? Like, I mean, that Ranger, you can be an intermediate and ski that ski at the 90 width or the 98 width. You can be an intermediate and ski it. Just base it on size, right? And I mean, you can be the best skier on the mountain and still ski that ski.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's nice that they're all they're all accessible.
Totally. So, they're all super accessible. And I had that Ranger 98 is like, you can make GS turns on it. I can
rail.
Pin that thing.
Yeah, 100%.
And it doesn't move.
Yeah.
And I could do the same thing when I was skiing Bonafides.
Right.
Right? I mean, that 98 width ski, like, everybody makes a good one right now.
Right.
So it's finding what you want and what works for you.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see how that, like, what the next width is, I guess.
What the next hot ski width.
Right, exactly.
Almost design too, right?
Like shape, because they're all the same.
They're all
right
the same
now.
shape right now. So
it's like you either buy an 88 ski or a 98 ski, and everybody has to have one, and then you go and buy a different ski.
Exactly.
So, like, what's going to change that? And I think, like, carving skis are going to be what happens next, right? Like, they make something a little more fun.
Return of the turn. Little Marcus Caston shout out there. Like, that's I love that. Yeah. I think carving. I mean, one of the guys over there at Blizzard, Frank Shine, he's Carvaholics is a little. I think he runs an Instagram account called Carvaholics.
Really?
He used to. Okay. I love the idea of that because you know what, powder days are great, and tree skiing is my favorite.
Right. Same.
But you don't get that every single day.
True.
And there really isn't a whole lot better than like a fresh groomer.
Totally.
Like, it doesn't have to be gnarly steep. Like, almost like a nice mid-grade blue square. Like, I'm thinking Perry Merrill at Stowe, and I'm just putting my hip on the ground.
Right,
Like, that's a blast. Carving is fun, and front side skis need a revamp.
Dude, and it looks sick. Did you see that Ted Ligety video that he put out the other day where he's, like, just dancing around on the hill? Like, it's sick, dude. When people do stuff like that, it's like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a blast, man.
Yeah.
I mean, ski racing is where I think people get it.
Right.
And I think everybody else, the trickle-down effect needs to happen where, like...
It's delayed, yeah.
Those kids... I mean, for the longest time, I used to get pissed off watching park skiers just ski with their hands down, just like
flopping.
skiing straight until they get to the park.
Right.
And now you don't even see that as much. You see guys out there railing turns, and
Kids are skiing.
that's sick.
Yeah.
Like the skiing, the quality of skiing, I think, has gone up in the last 10 years like crazy.
It's interesting you say that, I guess. Like, park skis have changed so much that I think people are buying less park skis because of that reason.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's why or what the deal is, or if people just aren't buying park skis, but it feels like what race skis were, I don't know, 4 years ago, or even kind of now, right? Where like shops have them.
Yeah.
They have a few, but they don't really sell that many. And if they sell them, they're selling them at like cost, basically.
Yeah.
And that's where park is right now. I feel like, I don't know, like we're going to talk to Cody Cirillo later, and he skis for Faction and does a bunch of park stuff. So I'm sure he'll tell me that I'm dumb, and it's like, and I'll probably agree with him, because it's like, but something needs to happen in park, right? Like something needs to happen to make a ski different, because I can go ski a Rustler in the park, and I can go ski a Ranger in the park, and it's honest, and Ranger free. Like that ski in the park is a blast,
right?
And like you can hit, you can't ride switch as easily, I guess, but like it's pretty close,
you can.
dude. You can,
I mean, you
totally,
can.
yeah. If you know what you're doing, you can.
If you know what you're
sure.
doing, you definitely can.
100%, yeah. So like it's almost taking away some of the validity.
Oh, I mean, park skis are, I think you're totally right. They're turning into a competition ski, like a race ski, where you're only buying park skis if you're competing in park.
Right, and you need it for that.
And I need
tool.
park skis.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, because I think in general, the park has gone much further than just the park now. Like all these guys who are big time park skiers are skiing backcountry.
Totally, that's the next step.
Throwing down.
Yep.
And they aren't going to do that on a park ski because they need a water ski. So I think that's kind of the evolution of it.
And you see that with every company that used to do just park skis, right? Like, I mean, Line makes an excellent all-mountain ski right now. Obviously, they're owned by K2, so it's kind of cheating, but it's, no, they do, though. Supernatural is so much fun. It's one of my top, 10 favorite skis, because I say every ski is my favorite one, but they're all great. I don't know anything about Jay Skis. He's going to be on next month, I think, and he'll chat about that. And I'm sure he'll be able to kind of describe to me. But they have great reviews on the top end of every mag review, right? Like in the all mountain sector, never mind the park sector. Every park company, Armada, is making bomber, all mountain, or backcountry stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it has to go. But I'm just interested to see what happens with park stuff.
I totally agree.
We'll see what happens, I guess, and kind of go from there. So what else is going on, dude? What else you got going on for the summer? What's the plan? You're getting married soonish, right?
Next June.
Cool.
Yep. Just figured out the date.
Sweet.
And we're psyched about that.
Oh,
Got a venue.
Well, congrats.
Doing it back east. So
sick.
Yep. It's that's exciting. So moving into September 1 is when ski season for us really kicks off, right? You hit the road, clinic season, fit day season.
Right.
So on top of all that busyness, I get to plan a wedding. So, and when I say I get to, I mean my fiance does, and I get to say yes or no.
Yeah, right. Or you get to have an opinion.
I get to have an opinion.
Yeah, you
and,
get to,
as long as I have an opinion, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah.
So we got that going on, and man, I mean, I got about, I don't even know what today's Wednesday. It's like a week and a half before it really gets going. So
it's a 20. I can't believe it's the end of August already. It's
crazy.
So wild.
It's wild, man.
We're gonna be in it pretty soon. I gotta get my knee good soon, man.
What's the timeline on that?
Dude, I don't know. Everybody's an idiot when it comes to this thing. I think nobody knows what they're talking about. Like, I've talked to 17,000 different people about ACL injury, and they're like, some people are like, oh, it should only take you 4 months, and some people are like, oh, it'll take you a year. And like my buddy, it took him a year and 2 months or something like that to fully recover. And I'm like, dude, that's not gonna work. Like, not gonna happen. Like, so I think I'm on track for 6 months, which puts me like end of November, which is perfect.
Yeah.
So I'll be happy with that, but I'm probably gonna have to ski pretty gingerly, I think, for the first.
On it, man.
I don't want to redo anything, and like I'm doing the hamstring work and stuff, but it's gonna be hard, man. If that first snowstorm comes early, luckily, like they're not coming early lately, right?
Yeah,
like they're coming in like February. We're getting snow,
exactly.
So I should be solid for some powder days and at the Stratton test, and maybe I'll come out here and test some skis and do that stuff. But it's that's kind of the game plan, man. Just take it slow,
take it easy.
Right?
You don't want to re-injure it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like the worst thing.
I've barely gone mountain biking because I don't want to re-injure it. Mountain biking, but like. I've been riding a bunch.
Spinning.
I've been spinning a bunch, right? And riding around, and I'm like, I can ride a mountain bike, but like my cardio is horrible right now. Like I'm like I can barely do what I want to do.
It back up, you know.
Slowly, man. It's a process for sure. So I think that's pretty good here. So why don't we do this? Where can people find you on social media? Where can people find Apres Headwear on social media and the website?
All right. So I am at Steve Brown Skis.
Okay.
Got some great posts on there. Definitely,
some good ones
definitely
lately, yeah.
You should check it out. Apres Headwear is at Apres Headwear.
Yeah.
Nice and simple.
Yeah.
And then apresheadwear.com is our website.
Perfect.
I would definitely say to keep your eyes peeled within the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, cool.
And you'll probably see some stuff before then.
Sweet.
But,
Yeah.
you know, everybody else.
We'll see stuff. Yeah, the people that are listening to this.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Cool.
So, yeah,
Beauty.
man.
All right, guys. Well, that was everything with Steve. Thanks for coming in, dude.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. So that was our episode with Steve Brown. Let us know what you think. You can email me at adam@outofpodcast.com. Make sure you like, rate, and review the show on iTunes, Android Store, iHeartRadio, whatever. Let us know what you think. We appreciate the feedback. We really like hearing from you guys. This was a super fun episode for me to do. Steve's a good dude, and hopefully he becomes a better parent with Apres Headwear because I think they're going to do some pretty big stuff. That being said, make sure you follow us on all the social media stuff at Out of Podcast, and that's on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. And then you can also follow Apres Headwear at Apres Headwear and at Steve Brown Skis to find more on Steve. Thanks, guys. Bye.